I had no idea what I was looking for. I'd never done any sort of marketing, not offline or online. I didn't even do anything with my Facebook. I didn't even have a picture of myself on Facebook. It was a picture of my flowers because I was actually afraid of saying anything on the internet because, I'm kind of small town Saskatchewan, Canada is where I live. So it's that you're fearful, like don't say anything of your own, don't say where you live or anything on the internet. So I literally didn't even use Facebook when I came online looking, and I didn't even know what I was looking for. I just started just searching random stuff like help single mom make money. And so that's how I landed here. Mike Dillard was my first exposure to the online industry, and what a wonderful exposure that is. That's actually where my concept of storytelling came, because I didn't come online just to get myself in a better financial position to raise my kids, but I also really wanted to somehow help other disabled or ill people, single parents, that kind of situation, help those people or tell my story to somehow empower other people. So I had no in-between process. I just knew who I wanted to get to, and I didn't know how to do it. So just very random searches. Started with Mike Dillard, and that's what resonated with me. So I knew that one of my big passions was going to be this storytelling, and that's why I just run with it. And it's turned into, as I mentioned in the beginning, my magic carpet. That's why I just love this kind of platform to engage with other people. I am completely empowered every conversation I have on this Hangout with you ladies, and every avenue of this industry. It's the storytelling, not my story. I am more empowered by hearing other people's stories. I resonate with one time, probably about 4 Hangouts ago, Debbie said, I absolutely love hearing people's stories. And I resonate with that too. I love hearing people's stories, and then I like to pull out something and tell them that how amazing they are.
You're a lot like me that way.
Yes.
Yeah, I love, and I'm sure, like listening to your story, you're inspiring me listening to your story. And, so sometimes I think this is when we have to feel like there's someone watching that is going to resonate with your story, and, that hearing your story, they're going, wow, I love that story, And
exactly. And that's where the magic starts happening.
Yes.
Right.
It is. And we were talking about this in the group that I was with. People are so worried about imperfections. Or am I going to be perfect on my video? Am I going to be, whatever it is. And it's the bloopers and the outtakes that are more fun than the movie is, when you watch the movie. And when you see imperfections and when you see people on video and they're not perfect, that's what people connect with. When they're goofy and they make mistakes and they have their kid walk in accidentally and their dog barks and the doorbell rings and all this kind of stuff, that's what people connect with. And
well, it makes it real.
It's real. It's like reality TV, really. I mean, that's why reality TV is basically, taken over sometimes to the detriment of everything. But, for the most part, it's just realistic. And that's what they're looking for, authenticity, because it doesn't seem fake. It doesn't seem made up. And they can put themselves in your place, and they can imagine themselves possibly doing what you're doing and saying what you're saying, and they can connect with you. And then, that first turns into just a person-to-person relationship, and then it can turn into a business relationship. And that's all, ultimately what we're looking for. People who think, I think I might like to do this. I might like to be hanging out with these people. I think I like how they think. I think I like what they're doing, and I like how they're touching people and how they're relating to different kinds of people. And that's the thing about, Susan, you were talking about, you're looking for something for disabled or single parents or people who are struggling. That's the thing about Empower. I mean, we take all the misfits. We take everybody. The weirder the better. We have blind people. We have people in wheelchairs. We have deaf people. I talked to an 87-year-old man in a wheelchair that his son brought him, and he had a little Afghan over his lap in Dallas. And he spoke out in the crowd. They were passing the microphone around, and he was the sweetest, cutest little thing. And he is a member of Empower. And then there's kids there that come with their parents. And these kids are blogging, and they're 12 and 13 years old. I mean, this is the future of people's businesses. This is what Empower is. It's teaching people how to do that. And it's just the name just says it all. It's Empower Network. We are empowering each other, and we're empowering other people to start believing in themselves before they can do it. We believe in them before they can believe in themselves, basically. And it's all through the power of storytelling. And it just keeps swirling around. Every video that I watch, every training video, stuff that I read, it all revolves around storytelling. And I started thinking about this when my kids were in grade school. They would have these really neat storytellers come around for their assemblies. And these people were so engaging because they were so good at what they did, their craft. And it was really interesting to watch them. The kids were like leaning in and listening. And some of them were authors of books, but some of them were just professional storytellers. What they did, some of them were musicians, and they would play guitar and then tell a story with it. But, when you think about that, that's what people want to hear. They don't want some scripted, real boring thing. They want a story, because a story, it's like a good preacher. If they're just doing straight scripture the whole hour, no, they're inserting life stories of something that happened, and that's what makes the scripture pop. It's all about stories. And I know I got off on a tangent there, but I mean, that's what we're about. Our lives are collections of stories. They're chapters, chapter after chapter after chapter. They're just all stories. Everything we have about our lives, it's all about stories. So I don't know if that fits into the theme here, but it sure fits into my theme about what we're talking about.
Yeah, it does completely fit into the theme. And I'll just tell a short story that ties into that as well. I was still afraid of getting onto video, and partly just because the very common fear of being on video that you mentioned, the worried about being perfect, and just kind of the naiveness of not realizing that it's okay. And then the other kind of angle to my fear was, at that time I was still taking quite a bit of painkillers for my neck and headaches, and so I was afraid that in the middle of a live video or being on a Hangout like this, I kept on saying no, because I was afraid that in the middle of the conversation I would forget what I was saying or lose my train of thought, which happens often.
Oh, gosh.
Then there was a call and it was the first call that Christina Minoz was invited on to the Empower Hour. And of course, I had been following Christina because our injury is exactly the same. She has nerve damage in her back, and mine is up in my neck. So of course, as soon as I heard that, and I've been following her and I connected with her, then when I heard her on this call, she had to pause. She completely lost her train of thought, and she had to pause. And so I'm paying very close attention, of course. And David Sharp said, "It's okay. Whenever you're ready, Christina, carry on." And there was the silence. That moved me to complete tears that day. And then I connected with her the next day, and I told her, and then it's like it moved hers and my relationship to a different level as well, because I shared in vulnerability to her how much she inspired me. And then the next week, because of what she said, because of what happened during that call, and then because of what she said in response to me, I started moving into doing these Hangouts. And one by one, I would purposely invite people that were afraid to get on Hangouts. And then hence started my Hangout journey. So that's the storytelling. That's the resonating with imperfection and being unapologetically us.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. That just gets me all excited.
It is cool. And she spoke on stage in Orlando.
I've heard it was wonderful. Yeah, that was hard.
She had surgery and she's walking. She was all over that stage. She was a crack up.
Yeah.
She
She
was really funny.
I have a really amazing story with Christina. So, one of the ladies in Inside Empower, her name is Tara. She came all the way from the UK in a wheelchair to get to the event, and she's a pretty big lady. It was really like she went through a lot of struggles to get to this event. I mean, it was, just being bigger, being in the airplane, that flight, when they finally, got to bring her the wheelchair kept breaking down, and Tara has such a laughter, right? She just starts like gotten to a point where she's just gonna laugh. She's not gonna let things upset her. And but all she knew, there was some reason that she had to get to the event. And so it was Saturday night. We had the Empire Network had the party like they usually do. And one of the gals we were all kind of around Tara, got Christina. So Christina and Tara could start talking, because again, she felt the same way you did, Susan, that here's somebody that can relate to what I've been going through. And when she heard her on stage, it was very, very, made Tara, to start living her life on purpose. She actually went up to David Sharp and said, when Miami is here, make sure that you have a ramp for me in my wheelchair, because I will be on stage.
Oh, that's who it was. I didn't realize that, who you were referring to. I remember him saying that.
And then the next day, we had I listened to the Superwoman phone call, and well, it was Monday, Tuesday. So Tuesday, where I'm by myself at the hotel, and because everybody else left on Monday, and I went back to the hotel, stayed the night. So I'm on the bench outside in the front of the hotel, starting to listen to the Superwoman call. Here comes Christina. And she goes, I said, I'm listening to the Superwoman call, and Tara, who you talked to the other night, was on there. And she goes, do you mind if I listen? I'm like, so we both got my phone. I said, here, wait, let me get my earplugs. So we both got, one earplug in the other. And, Tara told Christina on that call, said how much Christina had impacted her life. And she looks at me and she goes, I never knew until this Orlando event how many people I was actually impacting. Like she would hear it here and there, but this particular event, so many people came up to her, and she just felt like so empowered, that she has through her whole journey. And
that's amazing.
Yeah, it was
so awesome.
But I got a picture of us too with the earplugs and listening to the call. But and then after that I went by the pool with her to just chat with her some more. Amazing lady.
And she lives in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not an easy flight, let me tell you.
No, that's a big flight.
Not an easy flight over.
Yeah. It makes my 7 hours seem like peanuts.
Yeah. That's pretty powerful.
It was very powerful. But that's what that's, I guess, another thing of those events and inside our community is we get to feel all those empower moments, whether it's a breakthrough, whether that's, it's real life stuff that happens that you just you actually see, Susan saying to you, Dana, that I saw you having breakthroughs.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can continually witness that on and again.
Yeah, we saw breakthroughs the whole weekend. Transformations happening. I mean, literally in a week's time, like from the day that I got there on a Tuesday to the Tuesday that I left a week later, I had already had a lot of changes happen.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. Yeah, it is. And it's real refreshing to have that happen. because then you've taken that, you felt that in yourself, and then you know for a solid fact that what you've gained from that, you are going to so be able to give that to so many people. You know, it is, I don't, there's not another better word for it. It's just really empowering. It's really, really empowering. And
That's
one of
where,
the things I told the ladies before we started was, one of the things I started doing is writing 10 things that I'm grateful for every morning. I've started this exercise several times in my past, and I've never been able to stick with it. I'll get distracted. This time I started it before I left Orlando, and I have not missed. I mean, in fact, I get up in the morning and I run to my journal, because I have all these, my brain is opened up, and my heart and my soul is opened up, that I have all this stuff bubbling up in me that I am grateful for, and I can't wait to write it down. I mean, it just pours out of my hand. I'm like, who's writing this? You know,
you.
10 things that I'm grateful for. And then I've written down affirmations, which I've always known were powerful, but did I ever do it? No, I did a little bit, didn't stick to it. Reading those every day, reading my 90-day vision every day, morning and evening, seeing where I'm going to be in 90 days, seeing where I'm going to be by the Miami event, seeing myself on that stage. I mean, it is real. It is like the subconscious mind is doing it here. I mean, I don't have any fears anymore. They're gone. I don't care anymore. I am like so focused on what my purpose is. And my purpose is to find as many people that need my help. And I know that they're going to get put in my path. I just don't have to worry about it anymore. It's going to happen. It's already happened. It's done. It's done deal, right?
Yeah.
It's a done deal.
And that's where the emotional transportation comes into play.
What, can you explain that more?
So once you get into embracing it, just like we've discussed here, we've each had personal examples of it and examples that other people have had.
Mm-hmm.
And so once you're actually just, it's almost like you're just doing it. It becomes natural, and it emotionally transports you so that you embed that personal story. You embed your story into the product when you're talking to your prospect. So by embedding it, you're entangling it in together. So it takes away the suit and tie knocking on somebody's door, and I'm a salesman and I'm just here to pitch and sell you something. It takes away that part of it, and it becomes, by the embedding it just becomes a natural experience of you're emotionally transporting your prospect or person that's interested in your business.
Or a team member.
Yeah, exactly. And you're essentially taking them, if you need a visual, you're taking them on your magic bus. And they're just getting on the bus, and you're taking them for a ride and showing them the scenery within your story. The relationship starts getting built, and then they make a decision whether they're going to join you or not, but the relationship is still there.